All right, good Tuesday evening, everybody. It is January 20th, 2026, and we are talking winter weather. Not tonight, not tomorrow, not even Thursday, not even Friday. We're talking this weekend. Yeah, it's about 4 to 5 days out. Realistically, really 5 days for the worst to get here. But it's a strong enough signal that we've got to get you ready now, and we'll break down some of the things going on. But let's jump right into it because we've got cold air in place. The only weather we really have this week before the system gets here is going to be Friday, Thursday into Friday as the Arctic front arrives. There could be a little bit of rain with that, but we are weather impact alert for the weekend. Highest threats, heavy ice and snow. And I will emphasize the ice part. I have seen way too much emphasis on the snow part from apps to just people online. Folks, right now, this is not an all-snow event. Even in my coldest of coldest setup, there's at least some sleet mixing in at some points, which would reduce the snow total. So the crazy snow totals seem to be like way off the charts to me. So let's get into kind of the setup here because we can kind of see some of the ingredients coming together already for this, even though we're on Tuesday. The one area I'm watching, and this will be an area I'll watch over the next couple of days, will be over the deep south. This is where our low pressure system, you can kind of see it over the Pacific. There's a low pressure system out there that's going to come in the southern stream of the jet stream, and we'll probably see something start to crank up there. But what's ahead of it right now is an Arctic front. That's over the Midwest. You see that little batch of snow? That's the first of what could be 2 or 3 surges of Arctic air. And you're probably saying, Arctic air, it's pretty cold now. That's part of the reason we're so confident in winter weather. It's already cold, so this is even colder air. We would have winter threats right now, even if we didn't have that blast of cold air. And speaking of that, there is a ton of it up there. I mean, you look at that big swath of below zero readings, and that's what that aquamarine shade is. Those are below zero temperatures, and it's centered over Hudson Bay and areas to the east, which is an ideal setup to get cold air into the Carolinas. So perfect setup. So our winter weather forecasting rules, now we're in day 3 to 5. The timing and storm type are becoming a little bit more clear. I wish they were crystal clear, but we're kind of on the fringe of this. I think it's more going to be in that 3 to 4 day range where we'll get to tell you more, and no totals to talk about. But in full transparency, here's where the trends stand now. I will update these every day. The temperatures are trending colder, and what I mean by that, surface temperatures are trending colder. Above our heads, there's still some questions, and that's why there's an icy mix. The other thing that's crazy, the moisture content, really high. That's trending up. If this was rain, we're probably talking several inches of rain. So we don't normally see that much moisture in a winter setup. So that means the type of winter weather is a mix right now, and it's an icy mix at that. I'm going to go out about 70 hours here on our Futurecast. You see see all those fronts? I'm going to stop that. I went too quick there. Look at those fronts. I mean, you've got 3 Arctic fronts pushing in cold air. 1, 2, 3. That's why there's tons of cold air. Then you see the system trying to develop over Texas, the southern plains. That's the beginning of our system that'll be heading our way. And speaking of that, this is a widespread event. From a travel standpoint, I've been bombarded with so many questions today of travel and airlines and the typical stuff, but it's been overwhelming today, and I've been kind of telling everyone the same thing. I don't think it really matters about our local weather. When you have a storm this big, it's going to affect air travel, because think of all the airplanes, let's say in Atlanta, Dallas, Memphis, Charlotte, all the way up to the nation's capital. Those airports are all impacted. You're going to be impacted, even if you're not in the snowy area. But for us, you see that light blue area? That's a 70 to 90% chance of winter weather. And what do we mean by that? A 1/4 inch liquid equivalent. And that means a 1/4 inch of ice, which is enough to cause power outages, or 2.5 inches of snow or sleet accumulation. That is significant, okay? 3.1 is our average snowfall. So that's essentially our average snowfall in one event. And you can see to the south, even in the blue area, which almost to Columbia, is 50 to 70%. So yeah, when's the last time I've been that confident? It's been a while. You have to look back. And speaking of that Arctic air, look at the waves of it. It's not one, as I mentioned, 2, 3, 4 waves of Arctic air just getting pushed down all the way through next week. So let's get into scenarios. I'll break this down a little bit with Tim as well. Track number 1, snow lovers, everybody who wants just snow, this is probably the best track for you, but there's even some ice and probably sleet. But this is a suppressed track, meaning the Arctic air gets really far south and we're in the fluffy light snow. And this would actually reduce totals, by the way, because it pushes the moisture down south as well. The track that we're seeing the most in the guidance, and I actually would, if I were to forecast it right now, would be this one, track number 2. Snow first, maybe a little bit of rain, then changing to sleet, and then changing to all freezing rain. So that creates the glacier surface. And what do I mean by that? Is you get some snow or sleet on the ground, you dump some water on it, and then it all freezes like a solid brick of ice. And then the worst case scenario, which is what we don't want to see, kind of the storm pushes further north, pulling warmer air, not the surface, but in the mid and upper levels, really the mid levels and low levels, I should say, not upper levels because it's cold aloft, but like 5 to 10,000 feet range. It creates liquid water falling from the sky into air temperatures that are in the teens and 20s. So that's a crippling ice storm for most of the area. So from impact standpoint right now, our moderate impacts for snow and sleet, just because we don't know the amounts, but the biggest impact is travel. Icy roads, they will be completely covered and likely for days as we go into the early part of the week, and power outages. So high risk of those. We might see these jump up to extreme in a few areas. And just to give some perspective, 1/10 of an inch ice, going to cause some slick spots. 1/4 inch, that's where you have issues. That's when you start to see power outage issues. You get to a 1/2 inch above, that's crippling. And honestly, the forecast is pointing to not only accumulating snows, but crippling ice on top of it, which is the worst case scenario for many of us, and something we haven't seen since a decade ago plus. Why is this such a big deal? Typical snowstorm around here, melts the next day. Next day it thaws. We get black ice at night, right? That's what we worry about. This might never get to the black ice scenario because it never thaws, because temperatures stay below freezing from Saturday at some point to maybe Tuesday. So in the morning lows, if there's snow and ice on the ground too, that could make these temperatures even colder, because at night we could be in single digits and teens, which would really freeze this stuff up. And just to give you some perspective, there's a look at the amount of moisture. That's over 2 inches of precipitation. Real quick look at your Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day. I'll probably show this again with Tim. We want you to stay weather aware for the weekend for winter weather. Coming up, Tim and I will discuss all this for the next hour. Stick around.